Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, an armed Leonard man wearing a mask burst into a Dearborn Police Department, and a local Oxford man makes a movie, and a popular local resident gets a state award.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. A 24-year-old Leonard man and a 40-year-old Jackson, Michigan man were arrested when they burst into a Dearborn Police Department wearing masks, body armor, and bearing advanced weapons. Police quickly ordered the two subjects to place their weapons on the ground, and the Leonard man told police he wanted to file a complaint against an officer for a previous traffic stop. The men were quickly arrested for their attention-seeking actions. The two charged their rights to liberty were violated pertaining to their freedom to open and carry those weapons. Charges are pending.
36-year-old Thomas Zellin of Oxford produced, directed, and co-wrote a science fiction movie which was released in the States on February 7th. The sci-fi film has already shown in 20 other countries and has received great reviews. Beyond the Edge is the name of the movie, which is a story of two lead characters who are propelled into the outermost reaches of the universe to find and explore other galaxies. Since its release on February 7th, the movie can be purchased on DVD from Walmart, Amazon, and Best Buy, or it can be viewed on demand.
Ron Davis, director of the Oxford Township Parks and Recreation, was presented with the coveted Grand Award from the Michigan Recreation and Park Association for creating a special recreation endowment fund. The fund was set up to honor Ron's parents, Raymond Sr. and Catherine, who have since passed away. The endowment has raised so far more than $65,000. The foundation helps provide disabled individuals with better access to recreational facilities and activities. Although Davis was honored to receive the prestigious state award, he was quick to say he doesn't do his job for the recognition. He does it because of the passion. Be sure to watch our full interview with Ron on the upcoming Our Community Access program.
After more than a year of waiting, Addison Township had their first senior meet and greet, and nearly 60 seniors attended. The event highlighted the new senior program, which will be operated out of the new Addison Township Hall Community Room, planned and organized by Senior Coordinator Marie May. Sorry, Marie. Seniors 50 years and older who wish to participate in the upcoming calendar of events should call 248-628-3388. The center is open Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
According to Oakland County Police Sergeant Lenz of Oxford Township, residents should be careful when answering calls from unknown individuals or companies. According to the latest scam, the caller is attempting to solicit a yes answer from you so that they can record your voice. Then the scammer uses that recording to make it appear you're saying yes to a purchase of a credit card or merchandise. Police say the best thing to do is not carry a conversation with the solicitor, but to just hang up.
During a fireside chat hosted by Library Director Brian Cloutier and Historical Society member Sue Beausardet, they captivated the audience with stories of items housed at our local museum. For example, did you know that our museum has on display a fossilized elk antler discovered in an Oxford cedar swamp? I shouldn't know that. According to Beausardet, the antler has been carbon dated to between 10 and 15,000 years old. In addition, the museum's artifacts show the first settlers in Oxford arrived in 1830s. There are hundreds of local treasures and stories at the museum, and Cloutier encourages residents to stop in to the museum and appreciate the stewardship work done by the local historical society. It's an easy trip. It's right downtown at 1 North Washington Street in Oxford. Field trips and tours are available by appointment. For more information, call 248-628-8413.
A 17-year-old boy was caught trying to steal liquor from a store on North M24. The young man was seen by security pouring the liquor into an empty water bottle and concealing it under his coat. Sheriff's deputies were called and the boy arrested while trying to leave the store. The boy's parents were called and he was given a citation.
Police are asking anyone who has knowledge of who broke into a North Lapeer Road business, damaging shelves and mountings to the floor where a small safe was once anchored, to please call the Oakland County Sheriff Office. Deputies have collected evidence and fingerprints, and the store manager provided names of possible previous employees who he considered to be potential suspects. The case remains open. That's it for Oxford News this week. If you want to learn more about these stories and others, stop by your local store and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, you know what to do. Catch us right here at OCTV Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99.
Right, and coming up next on OCTV, filling in for Jamie Hughes is Cody Wright with your Oxford Sports. Also, catch Oxford School News with John Ochins. And you don't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles, and this is Oxford News This Week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors. And thanks for watching.
Welcome to American Legion in Oxford for the best fish on Fridays. That's right, from noon to 8:30. You can get the best walleye in Michigan. You can get walleye, baked cod, chicken strips, baked potatoes, and more. On the hall side of the Legion, oh, hello there, friends. You can have 12 friends on a table, any one of the best military museums in Michigan. And the dining side, oh, hello again. More comfortable with many 4-seat tables and a couple of 5-seaters. Now on Friday, we usually have about 400 to 500 of best friends for our fish. Carry out? You bet. We have 50 to 60 carryouts at the post. We have some young friends with the birthdays and some of our best seniors at the post. Oh yeah, waitresses, they go like a track waitress to get your food. If you have never enjoyed our secret famous walleye at the Legion, come on in. Every Friday from noon to 8:30 at the American Legion Post 108 on 130 East Rainer Road, Oxford.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, a blood test to detect pancreatic cancer in its early stages may let us spot the condition sooner. The only way to treat pancreatic cancer is to remove it before it spreads. But because the pancreas is deep inside the body, it is difficult to image or biopsy. Spotting the cancer is hard. As a result, pancreatic cancer is known as a silent killer because it's usually already too advanced to treat by the time symptoms arise and a diagnosis is made. Only 5% of people diagnosed with pancreatic cancer are still alive 5 years later, compared with 90% of those diagnosed with breast cancer. Now, Tony Hu at Arizona State University in Tempe and his colleagues have developed a blood test that could spot pancreatic cancer before it spreads. The test uses gold nanoparticles to detect signs of cancer in the blood. In a pilot study in 59 patients, it picked up early-stage pancreatic cancer in more than 90% of cases. The test could also tell the difference between pancreatic cancer and pancreatitis, which have similar symptoms and are difficult to distinguish using existing screening methods like ultrasound. Wow, that's good news. In our next story, genes that enable bacteria to resist our most crucial antibiotics have been found in bacteria on farms in China and are being spread by flies. Carbapenem antibiotics are also often used as a last resort for resistant bacterial infections. But when these fail, one of the few options left is colistin. But carbapenem resistance is spreading, and colistin's resistance was discovered in China in 2015. Tons of antibiotics are used as growth promoters on farms in China. Now a study has found that a third of E. coli bacteria sampled from chicken farms and meat in shops in China resisted carbapenems, and a quarter of those also resisted colistin. The study also found that bacteria in flies at chicken farms. Bacterial DNA from farms, flies, and human patients was similar enough to suggest flies are spreading resistance from farms to people. This is an immense public health concern, says the team. Wow. And still on the medical front, a vaccine against Zika virus has been given mice and monkeys immunity in tests. It is made from an inactivated version of the virus. Just one dose is needed. The critical difference between ours and everyone else's is that it's not a live virus. That makes it much safer and much easier to produce, says Drew Weissman at the University of Pennsylvania, a member of the team that developed it. Zika has been reported in 70 countries and territories and can cause babies to be born with abnormally small heads and brain damage. Weissman's team found that mice given the vaccine were still immune 5 months later. The group also gave 5 rhesus macaque monkeys a single injection and found it conferred protection on 4 of them for at least 5 weeks afterwards. The 5th monkey had a small amount of the virus present after being exposed to it, possibly because it received too high a vaccine dose. Dozens of vaccines are in the pipeline, but the other candidates all require 2 immunization shots, says Weissman. Wow. And in space, it's a rubbish start. A cable designed to drag space junk out of orbit has failed to deploy from a Japanese spacecraft. More than 1 million pieces of debris are whizzing around our planet, including abandoned satellites and fragments of old spacecraft. They pose a danger to working satellites and new space vehicles. A popular idea of getting rid of junk is to tug it down into Earth's atmosphere where it will burn up. On January 28th, the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, started an in-space evaluation of a junk-removing cable system. Its uncrewed spacecraft, Kondottori 6, had been fitted with a 700-meter-long metal cable, was on its way back to Earth after delivering supplies to the International Space Station. The cable was meant to unfurl from the spacecraft, and an electric current along its length should have interacted with Earth's magnetic field to create a drag on nearby rubbish, bringing it into a lower orbit. But Kondottori 6 was unable to release the cable, and JAXA could not fix the glitch before the spacecraft returned to Earth's atmosphere on February 6. We think it is not because of the cable itself, but some other reasons, a spokesman for JAXA told New Scientist. A detailed analysis is underway, and as they say, you learn nothing from success. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcats School Update. It was school board meeting time again last Tuesday. They had several presentations about a wide range of things, from a complicated state ranking system to the budget. Superintendent Tim Throne talked about the status of the strategic plan. Sam Barna, head of our business and finance department, updated our budget. It's a good thing, over $2.7 million to the good due to increased enrollment. He reminds us, though, that expensive improvements are needed and need to be planned for. Things like improved air conditioning systems, new roofs and buses, and updated facilities would probably cost between $25 and $30 million. He suggests that a bond issue might be in order. He's ordering studies to be more specific. You should check out the February 7th school board meeting on this station or our website, OCCTV.org. It's Teacher of the Year time here in Oxford. At Oxford High, one of our best known has been given the title. If you follow I'm Third or Oxford Gives Back, the name Joe Amabile will ring a bell. Principal Todd Dunkley weighs in.
He incorporates most everything he learns immediately. So there's a lot of dynamics. You're never going to see the desk the same place throughout the day. You see all kinds of interactions. You're going to see inquiry-based approach where the kids have to come out and start thinking at a higher level. And not only does he have great relationships with the students, he does it at the adult level where he has it responsibility-driven, where it's not that he doesn't pamper, but it's more of an encouragement to think as a growing young man or woman, and he does very well with it.
Dunkley reminds us of Joe's extracurricular activities.
He has been heavily involved when he started the I'm Third, which is a service group that donates their time to help others. They do, for instance, the soup kitchen. He also embraced that whole idea with Oxford Gives Back, and everybody, I think, knows where that went as a community.
As you might expect, Joe's reaction is quite modest.
I still kind of letting it all kind of sink in. It's very nice. I don't know, I just really caught off guard at the moment. And I think that we have a lot of great teachers on staff, so it's kind of a humbling thing. It could have been anybody, and I feel honored to have received the award.
Assistant Principal Kurt Noose explains how the selection process works.
Well, we put out a survey to parents and staff of who they would like to nominate as one of our outstanding teachers, and we look at the nominations and the recommendation forms, and we select one of the people who had been nominated. Joe received several nominations from both staff and parents, and he was one of our exemplary teachers this year.
By the way, Joe's also a runner and participated in the Chicago Marathon last year. Over at Leonard, the award went to resource teacher Helen Andrio. She's been with Oxford for 13 years. Principal Paul McDevitt.
Quite honestly, one of the best teachers I've ever met. She does so much for our school in terms of organizing our MTSS process as the support system for all students, working with teachers, giving them strategies and programs. She organizes like all of our paraprofessional support and how they are going to be supported in the classrooms. And she's just great with kids. She is going to go on now and represent the Oxford Community Schools as our elementary teacher of the year. And I had along with some colleagues, we did an application for her, and she was going to move on. And now it's kind of like a competition, but it's not really a competition. But she's going to be Oxford's representative, and they go through this application. There's point process, and they look at the different points of the different types of things that she's involved in, and she could end up going forward and being Oakland County's Teacher of the Year.
As you might expect, Helen's reply was quite humble as well.
Well, to be very honest, I don't feel very deserving because I work with such an amazing group of people, and I'm very honored to have been nominated and to have this award.
Well, not only are you Teacher of the Year here, but I understand you may be going on for bigger and better things.
Thank you.
Any thoughts on that?
Again, there are so many very deserving people, and I'm honored to have been nominated and to be brought forward for such an honor.
And as for her thoughts on teaching kids,
always believe that they can. Every student has a right to an education that leads them to their greatest potential.
That's the Oxford School Update for this week. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
How's it hanging, everybody? Cody Wright here with this week's sports report, updating you on your Oxford High School winter seasons. Well, let's get into it. Boys basketball has brought us mostly good results as of this year. The boys went on the road last Friday night and tipped off against Seaholm. The young freshmen have struggled a bit this season compared to their upper class teams. They fell to Seaholm with a final of 57-38. The JV club turned things around with the following matchup, taking the W 44-41, a close call, but a win's a win. Jordan Jaden and his boys struggled as well towards the end of the night and added their second loss to their record for this whole season, final score 45-33. And the girls basketball, well, they've been struggling this season as well, and we've been waiting for them to turn things around, and that's just what they did Tuesday night at home, taking on our rivals, Lake Orion High School. The varsity club finished them off with an 11-point difference, 36-25, and JV cutting it close with a 1-point difference, 27-26. The freshman ladies still struggled against the Dragons, taking the fall 36-20. However, it was a different story overall Tuesday night for our basketball gals. Boys hockey took on Royal Oak High School last Saturday night at Troy Sports Center. Royal Oak being just about the best team we've seen this season, but our boys played phenomenal. The scoreboard just didn't show. Final score 5-2. The boys will be facing off against Goodrich High School Saturday night at 7:15 p.m. at Troy Sports Center. If you were a hockey fan, hopefully you were there. And boys and girls bowling both headed to Troy Lanes last Thursday and rolled off against Athens. Both clubs were equally successful, taking the wins with the score of 28-2. A week later, both clubs headed to Collier Lanes and took on Lake Orion. The boys kept their streak alive with a score of 19-11. However, the girls struggled and fell to a final of 18-12. But let's face it, Oxford High School has a pretty impressive bowling program, and it has shown this year. Boys swimming took on Rochester High School in home waters last Thursday. Both OAA White Division teams performed great, but our boys sunk down below Rochester by the end of the night with a final of 103-82. And lastly, our co-ed wrestling A team took on Adams High School on the road last Friday. We took the win 272-229 and captured the OAA Red Division title. Wildcats sent all 13 wrestlers to the finals, an incredible feat for our wrestlers, and congratulations to all the athletes and coaches. Well, that should just about wrap things up for this week. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy our coverage, please check us out at OCCTV.org. Much more material can be found there and on our YouTube page, which you can find through our website. Also, keep track of upcoming events by going to oxfordathletics.org. The season is winding down, and it's time to make your way to some games before it's all over. Again, that's OCCTV.org and oxfordathletics.org. And that should just about do it for this week. Thanks to you guys again for watching, and we'll see you next week. I'm Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan. Take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Ford Motor Company is redesigning its largest but aged SUV in hope of boosting sales in one of the industry's hottest segments. The 2018 Ford Expedition sweeping overhaul includes a slimmed-down aluminum body, updated powertrain, more interior legroom, and 40 new technology features designed to make long drives more comfortable. Ford's full-size family hauler hasn't been retooled and updated in 20 years, and while its U.S. sales rose 44% in 2016, in recent years it has trailed competitors such as the Dodge Durango, Chevrolet Tahoe, and Chevrolet Suburban. The new aluminum body shaves about 300 pounds, a weight savings Ford expects will result in better fuel economy, although it did not provide specifics. The SUV comes with an independent rear suspension and continuously controlled damping. It will feature the same 3.5-liter V6 EcoBoost engine the current model has, paired with Ford's new 10-speed transmission. The The interior features more legroom with sliding second row seats and reclining third row seats. Both rows of seats have power folding options. It has twice the cubbyhole space as the current model and features charging ports at every seat, including 6 USB charging ports, 4 12-volt power points, and 110-volt power outlet. Wow. The center console also features a wireless charging pad. The Expedition will come with a Wi-Fi hotspot that extends 50 feet around the vehicle. Ford stretched the wheelbase by 4 inches, giving the utility enough space to fit a 4x8 piece of plywood if the seats are down. The rear, which includes customizable storage spaces, also features a raised lip, so loose grocery items or soccer balls won't roll out when the liftgate opens. It has a new electronic shifter with a separate similar knob to switch between drive modes. And for the 15% of Expedition customers who tow on a weekly or monthly basis, Ford is adding the Pro Trailer Backup Assist feature found on its F-150 pickup. Other driver assist technologies include lane keeping assistance, a collision avoidance system, and a 360-degree camera technology. Wow. Not to be outdone, FCA, for consumers torn between an SUV and a muscle car, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles NV has a new 475 horsepower solution. At the Chicago Auto Show, the automaker is billing the Dodge Durango SRT as the world's most powerful 3-row SUV with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 4.4 seconds. The Durango SRT will join a hot rod version of the Jeep Grand Cherokee SUV already sold under the Street and Racing Technology line. Fiat Chrysler's addition of another high-performance SUV to the lineup reflects the auto industry's confidence that lower gasoline prices will help sustaining booming demand for larger and less fuel-efficient models. The Durango SRT will boast 8,600 pounds of towing capacity, exceeding any other full-size SUV, according to Fiat Chrysler. Buyers will receive a full day of instruction at the Bob Bondurant School of High Performance Driving in Arizona to learn proper handling of such a large and powerful vehicle, the company said. Wow. And on the recall front, German automaker BMW AG has agreed to pay up to $478 million to settle a class action lawsuit covering about 318,000 U.S. luxury car owners who may have suffered water damage harming electrical components in the vehicle trunks. According to settlement documents filed in U.S. District Court in New York 3 weeks ago, the settlement covers owners of 2004 to 2010 model year BMW 5 Series cars and will allow owners to receive up to $1,500 reimbursement for prior repairs. A BMW spokesman did not immediately comment on February 7th. Owners of vehicles with fewer than 120,000 miles or less than 10 years old are eligible for a free inspection and repairs if needed. The settlement says sensitive electronic components located in the spare well trunk of the spare tire well trunk in some vehicles were damaged by either clogged sunroof damaged tubes or some other means of water entering. As parts of repairs, dealers will affix a warning label that informs owners not to spill liquids in the trunk. Owners contend that automakers knew of the problem as early as 2004 based on complaints, warranty claims, and technical service bulletins filed by the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. BMW has denied wrongdoing. BMW has faced court suits in New York and California over the issue for 4 years, and the documents do not indicate how many owners may seek reimbursement. BMW has also agreed to pay nearly $1.8 million to cover legal fees and costs of the suing owners. The settlement must still be approved by U.S. District Judge Catherine Forrest. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.